Okay, this is part two. I'm back. TradeGuild.blogspot.com with BMD. We'll take a little closer look at it because I was kind of rushed there. But anyway, we have that 22-day moving average in red, the 50-day moving average in yellow, and we say volume precedes price. And we've got a nice move with volume in here. But you see these green volume days back here. That's what we're kind of talking about when we say volume precedes price. Let's look at a 3-day chart. Actually, let's look at a 2-day chart. And here's that MACD divergence. You see the low here and the low there. We have a lower low in price, and MACD is actually at the neutral line at that point. So that's telling us something is going on. And here's my little system that I like to use. I have a custom indicator in here in red, the dash line, and that's basically a volume weighted average price. So basically what it says is, according to volume, the majority of people that own this stock or have bought this stock have bought it at $3.40. So the price is above that, which means those people are at a profit. Of course, when the price would go below that, you would worry about some of those people starting to sell that position. So that's one thing I kind of keep an eye on, but I don't make any decisions based on that. And then I have my my yellow moving average and 10-day moving average and a 22 in blue. And I don't just use those crossovers for buy signals, but I actually add a couple other criteria. I want to see RSI above this 0 line for a buy. So if I get a crossover here, that RSI has to be above the 0. And this is a custom cumulative indicator that I've written for myself. And the indicator is actually in blue, and the yellow and red are just 10 and 20-day moving averages. So I use all three of these to avoid whipsaws. A crossover of this blue indicator over the red and yellow, a crossover of RSI above 0, and that 10-day above the 22. So I'm going to give you a little closer look just of what we're seeing here. We had one crossover, as you can see back here in early October. RSI was not above that 0 level at that point, and we didn't have a crossover in this indicator at that point. So that's why I like to use these three together. Sometimes you don't get the trade, but you get out of a lot of these whipsaws that tend to come your way. I have another video you can check out. I think it's called my system or something like that. You can look it up, or I'll try to post a link to it that really explains how I use this system in kind of detail. So anyway, I'm looking for a pullback to this 10-day moving average. I don't know if we get it because we pretty much did get it on this hammer day here. Very early in stock trend when it breaks out of a base and starts the move up. Typically the first pullback will be to that 10-day moving average, and then after that you might see it start pulling back to this 22-day moving average. So whether we get another chance here or not, I don't know, but it's definitely one I think to keep your eye on, and that's non-metallic mineral mining, and that's a BMD, Birch Mountain Resources. So let's see, I think I might have one or two more here for you. Here's CFW, which is Kano, petroleum, oil, gas, drilling and exploration. And let me give you a cleaner chart here. So what I see here going on is this MACD divergence over here, over here, over here, and we have this little kind of a resistance level here, a breakout above that, and a pullback to that resistance. And there's that volume that we like to see, and also here is a nice profile in balance of power, time segmented volume, and money stream over here in red. So I like CFW a lot. I think as far as the trade goes, let's take a look at this a little bit closer here. As far as the trade goes, I think this is the pullback. I think we're not going to get much more. If we do get much more, I'd be concerned. So there's the level of former resistance, there's the breakout through that level, and the pullback to that level. So this 475, 480, 490 area, I think, is the level in which I would want to buy. For me, I think my stop at this point on this stock would be pretty much this 460 level, I think. So there's one more to keep your eye on. Let me see if I have any others. Yep. DNE, Dune Energy. And this is a beautiful chart, and it kind of sums up the bottoming process. And here's a very nice rounding bottom. You can see it in volume, very nice. There's the breakout over here. So, you know, this is kind of well on its way already. I wish I saw this chart a month ago. But, you know, maybe we get a pullback to the 220 area here. Let's see where the moving averages are. Yeah, I mean, maybe we get a pullback down to this 22-day moving average again. And if that happens, I would probably look at a position there. The accumulation, you know, looks very good here. You can see how in this rounding bottom that I talked about just a second ago, you can see we transitioned from selling. See, we're below that zero line over here. Less selling and into buying. And that's the bottoming process in a rounding bottom. You have large, if we just go back to the volume real quick, let me just show you this real quick. We have a large volume, and this is what gives it the rounding shape, this large climactic selling, and then the selling starts to taper off, and we just saw that in those other indicators. And now the buying is starting to pick up, and we have that kind of climactic buying, and that's a rounding bottom. So DNE looks pretty darn good. Let's see if I have any others. AOG, Aurora Oil and Gas. This is kind of an interesting one. It's a newer issue. You know, it's just a couple quarters old, but it looks kind of interesting with this volume here. And remember what I said before: volume precedes price. And look at the volume yesterday. I'm gonna move the stock back one day. Look at that volume. It didn't do anything. We had this big volume. We had the move up here, TSV, the red indicator above that zero line. Volume precedes price. The very next day, boom, 8%. So this is a kind of a nice looking chart, and the accumulation indicators also look very good here. So AOG is another one to put on the watch list. I'm not sure how I'd trade that one. I don't like to chase stocks, but it is pretty early in this in the markup phase here, so maybe it's not a bad idea to phase into it. COG, I guess I do have a few more. I'm not sure if I'd call this a rounding bottom, but you can see what's going on as the stock is bottom. Yeah, it is a rounding bottom. I mean, that's what's happening here. So I think this is another issue that's only a couple quarters old. Yeah. So you know, there's not a lot of history to go on, but this is kind of a nice little formation in here. And if you could buy around 360, I think I would probably have my stop down here around 340, where that volume weighted price average is. And that is it for tonight. I think I talked about KBX. That's where we started. So my name is Brant, and it's tradeguild.blogspot.com. And if you like this video, I'd appreciate if you tell your friends about it, or if you're on Yahoo or some other sites, let them know about us. I have tons of videos on YouTube, tons of videos on the site, lots of resources on the site, and we have a tag board there. It's a live chat, and during market hours, there's 10 people usually there. You'll always find a knowledgeable trader on the board there, and I'm there all the time too. So get the word out if you like the videos, and come by and visit us, and we'd like to have you there. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you soon.